Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of our movie talk show where we talk about movies that are coming out.
Talk all about them.
Talk all about them. All you need to know, whether or not they're good, whether or not you want to see them. Today we're going to be talking about Child's Play.
Child's Play.
2019 Child's Play. Don't be mistaken. This is not a retrospective review.
We're not into that whole nostalgia thing.
No.
We're into the
all
fresh.
About the new, fresh cinema. So we'll be discussing the remake of Child's Play. This is No Spoilers. All right.
Cool. So yeah, Child's Play 2019.
We watched it.
Yeah, from start to finish, which was pretty cool. Sometimes you don't finish a movie. I finished this one.
I finished it too. And
okay, so let's just get There's an elephant in the room. There's a whole nother Child's Play franchise. This is a new Child's Play.
Yeah, so there's going to be confusion with the audience, or they're going to be like...
And that other Child's Play franchise is still going.
It's still going.
So
they're kind of, we got two trains on the track.
Yeah. So who's going to derail?
Who's going to derail?
There's one track.
There is a race going on, essentially. A train race on the same track. Two trains.
Yeah.
Who's going to win?
Yeah.
Who's gonna beat out the other? It's it's kind of like in those movies where it's like, oh my God, Armageddon's coming out, but also Deep Impact was coming out,
right?
And then Dante's Volcano was coming out, and then that other volcano came out, and it's confusing, and it's like, but it's like that, but if they were the same movie,
God, you're right.
Thing.
That's absolutely what it is.
It's like that. It's, it's studios are butting heads and really putting their dukes up and letting them fly, letting those fists fly.
Yeah.
And I am on the edge of my seat, waiting to see who rises victorious.
And let me say one thing, like, I'm like a horror nut. Like, I love that stuff. Like, I love the blood and the gore, all that. But if there's one knock against the old, like, classic horror movies, like the classics from the 80s, they didn't have CGI back then.
Yeah. So
I mean, that's one point for the new Child's Play, because they didn't have to rely on, like, the ingenuity of, like, craftsmen and, like, practical effects teams and stuff like that. This time, they had computers.
Yeah. Sometimes when a movie gets remade, you're like, why do we need to do this? Does anyone even want this? But a lot of people want it now, because now we have CGI. We can see that doll in the right way, the way it was meant to be seen.
Yeah.
And it's like, of course we're gonna remake Child's Play, because now we have the tech to make it look good.
Finally. Exactly. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
That was great. I'm less not as much of a horror nut as Sean over here.
Nobody is. Nobody
is. I thought it was too scary. It was just scary, but it was fun. It was fun to see all that, to see Chucky the way he's meant to be seen in CGI. But I had to watch a lot of the movie with my shirt over my face. It was like, oh.
You did.
And then I peeked down to make sure I was catching all the good CGI, and then I go, oh, there's a knife. Whoop. Whoa, no, there's the blood.
And I kept being like, Chris, you're missing all the best CGI. Buddy, there's some CGI. You're going to want to see this. But
that's pretty good CGI.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, CGI plus for sure. Did you think that it was interesting that Chucky this time basically was like the internet doll?
He was hooked up to the internet.
He was hooked up to like a Siri, Alexa. He was like Chucky,
which I thought was like, it felt like, oh, it's somewhere in the middle ground between like, ugh, you're pandering to just new tech heads, fresh tech heads. Yep. That, but also like, you gotta adapt to the changing times, and I'm glad that like, you know, that makes sense too. You gotta remake these movies and not just give them the CGI treatment they deserve, but just give them the modern tech version they deserve. So it's like, of course, we want to see Chucky hooked up to the cloud.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, instead of like the weird supernatural mystique of having it be the reincarnated soul of a serial killer, now it's like a computer virus.
Yeah, it's scarier that way because it could happen.
Yeah.
So,
God, that's true. This is almost kind of like one of those serial killer docs that you watch, but you're like, why am I watching this? Because it's like actually happened. This is actually disturbing.
This is really
it's kind of like this new Child's Play. It's like actually scary because like the internet is actually there. This is like a cross between like Child's Play and the net.
Yeah. Yes.
Like the old Child's Play.
Right.
And the net.
Yeah, you mix those two worlds and
now you get Child's Play.
Yeah. 2019.
2019. Yeah.
It's an exciting time for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little scary.
It was.
It's a little scary.
Yeah.
And I don't like to be scared. Sean does like to be scared, but he was real nice. He held my hand through most of it.
Yeah.
So.
And he only wept for like the last third.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the usher who came by with the tissues was very kind, as he always is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so outside of all that, it's still weird that two trains are on one track.
Yes.
Who's derailing who?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I gotta say, for the reasons we've discussed. I mean, is the original Chucky franchise? I don't think they're really adapting to the changing times. I don't think they're, factoring in or folding in or bringing in or roping in these, new forms of technology that people want to see. People are going to be bored if they don't see a character who at least checks their phone, because where's the relatability?
That's true. Yeah, I rewatched Child's Play, the original, recently, and I did notice that nobody checked their phone. Yeah. At all. The whole movie. That's a flaw crazy. At this point. Like, some movies age well, some movies don't age well, and that doesn't age well for that part.
Right, yeah. Because you can't be scared if you're not, connecting to the characters, right?
Yeah.
And this movie was really scary because I was connecting to the characters. I was like, I use the internet, so does the doll, so do the people who own the doll. Is this going to happen to me?
Yeah.
I like dolls. Is this going to happen to me? Makes me not want to buy a doll, but I know I will, so I'm going to be scared the next time I go to a toy store.
Oh, man. And that's kind of the danger of watching a horror movie, too. Sometimes you can inadvertently taint these other aspects of life. And that's just collateral damage, because movies are magic.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're traumatized by them. It's magical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say that, it kind of ruined my life in a few ways, but you got to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And just because he said it ruined his life in some ways doesn't mean that, it'll ruin your life. In some ways, it might ruin your life. Well, yeah, it might.
It's gonna ruin your life a little bit. But
that's what you're paying for.
That's what you're paying for.
That's what you're paying for.
If a movie isn't going to affect your life, whether it's positively or extremely negatively, what are you paying for?
Yes, nothing is worse than being bored by a movie. I would rather be scarred emotionally for the rest of my life than to be bored for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay?
Ugh. You can't get those 90 minutes back. But when you are deeply affected to the point of being traumatized, you're going to get those 90 minutes back over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. A traumatic experience is it's good bang for your buck.
It's always with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful part about Child's Play, I would say. So yes, I agree. That aspect, it was amazing. The trauma-inducing aspect was very, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to... Let's move on. Sorry.
Yeah, it was... Okay, so one little nitpick,
Sure.
I grew really attached to the voice of Chucky in all the other Chucky movies. Like the one that came out a couple years ago. Because these movies are still coming out. A TV show is still coming out of the original franchise.
Yeah.
And I missed that voice. I do like... don't get me wrong. The new one is voiced by Mark Hamill. And he's great. Corvette Summer.
Right.
Corvette Summer. But he's not... Let's just say he's not known for being attached to iconic properties. Right. He's more of like a niche character actor who pops up and like knocks it out of the park. But like...
Also, he's not like... I mean, I don't know.
I love him.
I don't know how they cast him because, like, you want to see that Mark Hamill face. Who casts Mark Hamill based on the voice?
No, this has to be the first time, and it should be the last.
Yeah. No offense, Mark.
No offense, Mark. I love your voice.
Love your face.
But your face, that's the moneymaker. Yeah. And where's Corvette Summer 2?
Yeah. If there's one takeaway we want you to take away, it's that... let's rally around the cause of Corvette Summer 2, Corvette Fever.
Oh, yeah.
Mark. We know you got clout. Time to use it.
Yeah.
Time to cash in that clout.
Yeah.
Cash it in.
But that being said, I loved everything else about the new movie. And it made the older movies suffer by comparison. Particularly the CGI and the...
Don't forget the internet.
Oh, the internet aspect. I mean, come on. I basically don't like watching a movie that doesn't have the internet anymore.
Yeah.
Because it just doesn't feel realistic.
At least something with a touch screen. But
yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Sean loved it. I kind of hated it, but I also kind of loved it. And I'm so glad I saw it because now it's like probably one of my favorite movies.
Oh, good.
It's definitely my favorite horror movie.
Me too.
Yeah. But... I mean, I don't know. It's maybe... I'm going to go with Child's Play 2019 as the best horror movie ever made. So, it's an exciting time to be alive and scared. I bet The Shining is really boring these days.
Oh, man. Can you imagine just how sane he would have been if he had Twitter?
Oh, my God. Yeah, that can't... Yeah, I mean...
Oh, man. They should do one of those, like, Apocalypse Now Redux. They should do The Shining Redux.
What does a Redux mean?
It's like when a director wants to go back and, like, fix their broken movie. Oh. It's just, like, go back and fix it.
Right, yeah. They could throw some iPads in there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, just kind of...
Just to keep it relevant.
Yeah, remove that typewriter with there's the iPad right there.
Yeah, a little laptop.
Yeah.
Or an iPad. Yeah, that's
maybe he's writing his book on an iPad, contemporary authors.
Instead of like this, it's more like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could probably angle his wrists up, right?
Oh, with CGI now, totally.
Yeah. Cool.
So Kubrick, if you're listening, Redux.
We got Mark Hamill, we've got a great idea for you. Kubrick, we've got a great idea for you. How many movies are we reviewing versus how many movies are we actually inspiring into motion? Because I feel like we almost become like a writer's room or a think tank. And
I didn't want to say
spit
anything,
out these
but
things.
Some studio should put us on their payroll. Come on. Come on.
Like, this stuff's, we're giving these
out
ideas
there. These episode after episode after episode.
Free.
Come
on. This is free. That said, please support us on Patreon. Give us your money.
Absolutely. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. That actually means a lot to us if you subscribe and like us on Facebook. These things mean a lot to us.
They mean a lot to us.
And then Patreon, fiscally, that means a great deal to us as well.
Yeah. Speaking of which, thank you to all of our Patreons who have patronized us.
Thank you so much.
See you next time.